Hey, Todd with Center Valley Customs. Welcome back. For those of you that have been watching and are back, for everybody else, welcome to the channel, I guess. Watch the other videos if you feel whatever. Anyway, I got welding gas. I was all out. 150 bucks now to exchange a tank. I thought the last time I exchanged a tank was like 100. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of outrageous, to be honest. The other thing, finally got my drive shaft. I've been complaining, going back and forth. The first time I called and gave them my length, which was like, I want to say it was like 70.5 inches. They told me I needed at least a 4.5 diameter drive shaft for that length. And they told me to build one was going to be like $1,000. At that point, I said, absolutely not. I'll throw the old one back in. And then actually Taylor got the idea to go get a used one out of like a Silverado or something and then bring it and have it cut down, which was a good idea. I ended up finding one out of like a 2500 Chevy, I don't know. But that was actually a 5-inch drive shaft and it looked enormous. But regardless, I took it up to this place, whatever, local place, and told them, here you go, here's my drive shaft. I need these U-joints put on, whatever. I thought they were actually going to call me an idiot because it was like an enormous drive shaft. And actually they were like, no, that's a little bit overkill, but honestly it's not going to hurt anything and it's probably what you want. So I was like, cool. The one guy said, oh, well, we won't be able to get conversion U-joints. The other guy said they could. He looked them up. He said, yeah, we can get conversion U-joints for that, whatever. So I left. It's like 4 or 5 hours later, I get a call back. We can't get conversion U-joints, but we can build you a new one for about 600 bucks. And I was like, whew, that's still a little steep. But by the time I go find another used one, drive up there, drop it off, give them another like $300 to cut it down and U-joints and blah, blah, blah. I said, you know what, just do it. So while I was gone for the last 2 weeks, I got a call and they said, hey, we got your drive shaft done. I said, cool, what I owe you? 675 bucks. Whew. So I hate to even tell you this, and hopefully you're sitting down. I got about, I would say almost 800 bucks in this stupid drive shaft. But it is what it is. It's what I wanted. I don't know. I don't know. I would say if you're going to do what I did, try and go find the used one and have them cut it down, because you don't want to do what I just did and spend a stupid amount of money for a hunk of aluminum. But anyway, that's that story. So today, what the plan is I believe I'm going to try to get these cross members, well, at least this cross member welded in, bash this one out, start boxing in the frame up to probably about to where this tank bracket is. That's about all the far back I'm going to go. And then I'll grab another piece of tubing and weld in another cross member where this one is. Honestly, I probably could just leave this one in, but because I already got one round one, I think it would look dumb having this in there, so I'm going to replace it. The other thing, once we get that all welded in, is we need to look at this hole for the drive shaft. So like I said in the last video, this, let me get down here, maybe you can see a little better. This pinion is not centered with the axle, whatever. So up here, you can see it is not centered in the hole. It's off to one side. If it was centered, we would have plenty of room, but as you can see, we only got about an 1/8 inch gap on that side. So we're gonna have to modify that. Also, I believe once I get, shouldn't say once I get, but if I was to lower the rear any farther, I think I'm gonna run out of room on the top here. So, Troy Boy dropped me off some tubing here, assorted tubings. This 4-inch stuff was going to be for the exhaust hole. Honestly, it's kind of thin, so I might probably not going to use this, to be completely honest, because I think it's too thin, and with what I'm cutting out, I need to add some structure back in it. But he got me some of this. It's about 5.5, 6 inches in diameter. So I think what the plan is going to be, and I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this yet, but I think the plan is going to be to cut this out somehow, one way or another. Cut this tube in half and stick this kind of welded up on top somehow like that. That way I can gain myself a couple more inches, just in case I lower this anymore. I mean, honestly, if it even goes down another inch, I'm probably going to be borderline rubbing that cross member. I didn't look for one online, I guess, more or less, but I did watch a video of, I think it's a CPP Performance center cross member in there. I just don't see the point in buying a different one because it's really not much different. And if I want to be 100% completely honest with you, I am so sick of knocking out rivets that I would prefer not to knock out 15 more rivets just to gain a couple holes here and a bigger hole there. I'm already going to have to knock out these rivets, and I'm not looking forward to. But luckily I already got a majority of them out. I think there's only like 4 of them in there, 4 or 5 to knock out, so that shouldn't be too bad. So also, all this garbage that I took off, I put on the old marketplace, and it's been up there for, I don't know, a few days. And one younger gentleman contacted me about it today and asked me what I wanted for it. I said, I don't know. What do you think it's worth? He said, I don't know. It's my first classic truck, just trying to throw some parts together. So I said, all right, just come get them. Get them out of my garage. I'm not going to use them. Honestly, if nobody comes and gets them, they're probably going to get scrapped. And I'd rather just do, I guess, a nice deed and give it all away to some younger person than throw it all in the scrap, I guess. I don't know. So he should be here at some point tonight to pick that stuff up, get that stuff out of my way. So I'm going to use that as an excuse to not pull this axle out tonight because I don't want to. Go from there. So to start, I think I should pull the coilovers off and lower the frame down pretty far just to see where this cross member is going to go, because I'd like to weld that all in before I knock that one out. Honestly, probably right where it is probably where it's going to go, so I don't even know if I really need to go through all that work. I will get some like 1-inch tube and kind of gusset this somehow, maybe off 2 corners, just so that the frame can't tweak, because I can't imagine that's going to be extremely strong just welded like that. But I need to get tube for that, so I don't know where I'm going to find that unless I go order it myself and buy it brand new, which is probably what's going to happen. Or I'll talk to Troy Boy and see if he can get me some from work, because he's a welder and he works for whatever, a machine, not a machine shop, but they make vessels and crap. I don't know. Maybe one day we'll do like a episode with Troy and just let him talk the whole damn time. He can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. So speaking of talking, we ain't gonna get any work done talking. I got my cross member welded in. I actually did use the 2-inch DOM tubing versus the 1 3/4, mainly because I don't have enough 1 3/4 tube to do both of them. But I'm actually glad I went with the 2-inch because it Looks better. It seems to coincide, whatever. It looks better. You know, we got to have the big tube with the big Heim joints and everything else, because, you know, everything else isn't heavy duty enough. So, and actually I squared this tube up with this cross member. I kind of just eyed it up in one spot where I thought it looked good, tacked it in, and then squared it up, whatever. And after I got it welded in, I'll still have to weld it on the bottom once I pull the axle out and the links drop. I can weld the bottom of the tube a little easier with getting the welder in there. But I did stick a tape measure from here to these brackets and these brackets, and it is perfect. I mean, it's probably not even out of 16th, to be completely honest. I am impressed. Well, I mean, when you're good, you're good. It is what it is. But anyway, also, before I even put that cross member in, off camera, I did pull the coilovers out and drop the frame all the way down to see if I had room, and I did. Unless we end up lowering this. So when I did that, I looked to see if the cab was level, and in order to get the cab level, it's going to have to go way down. So we're going to wait until we get the box on to see how it sits. I wouldn't mind a little bit of a rake. I don't mind that look, but I didn't really expect to be dropping it this low, to be completely honest. But for the rest of the night, I don't know how late I'm gonna be out here. I'd like to at least get this cross member out and maybe make some templates. I did kind of tie up some time with the guy that came to get those parts, and we whatever chitter chattered and blah blah blah. So get that knocked out, make some templates, and then start whatever, cutting metal. Got that cross member out. I hate rivets. I hate rivets. And even after I got the rivets out, oh, actually, yeah, you're gonna like this one. So these two rivets here, I knocked them off, whatever, with the air hammer. On the bottom side, they're already taken off. So I just cut off 2 extra rivets that I didn't need to. So that's good. Anyway. Even after I got all the rivets cut out, I still couldn't get that stupid cross member out because I couldn't get the rivets to push through. These 2 are actually still in here. I'm gonna have to get the death wheel or something in there, but it didn't want to come out, so I got the old plasma out, and let's just say I got him to talk. So that's that. My batteries died, so honestly, I didn't plug in my GoPro or my little battery pack thing from the last time that I used it. And I'm surprised actually these microphones are still working. I figured they'd be dead already. Unless they are. Nope. So I did not take the time to put a new battery in until now, and turns out one was actually charged. But it is what it is. I made some templates already, so when we continue this, probably not tomorrow, but the day after, we should be able to just plasma the templated whatever, trace plasma, cut it out, weld it in. Then we can weld the other cross member in back here somewheres, wherever we feel suited, and pull the axle out for the last time, like I've been saying, time and time again. But I honestly, I just don't want to pull it out. I don't know why. I just hate doing it. So I'm going to shut her down for the night, go eat, watch some used tubes probably, and then pick up on this in a couple days. All right, new day, back, picking up where we left off. Got that cross member out, smashing all those stupid rivets out. I already got my template made, so I'm ready to just start tracing this out, cut it out with the plasma. I got my radiator yesterday and pulled it out of the box, and it's not the wrong one, but not the one I want. So I think maybe the C10s, maybe depending if you had a V6 or a V8, determine the width of it. So I have like a 26-inch wide radiator. The one that I got was like 18 inches. So send it back. Probably more my fault than anybody else's. I have a really bad habit of just finding something and ordering it instead of checking the dimensions, because after I got it, I checked the dimensions and sure enough, it said it was 18 inches wide by like 22 inches high or whatever. And then when I did a little more research, looking around, I found other ones that were the actual width. So I think the one I got is probably for a V6 or a straight 6 or whatever, not the V8 one. So whatever, I took that to work, shipped it back, already ordered a new one, so hopefully, if not by the weekend, early next week, I'll have that. So, but it doesn't really matter. For now, we're gonna work on this half, and that'll be, I don't know, next week or whatever, whenever we get to it. So, all right, start tracing, cutting, welding, grinding, same thing over and over again. All right, so my template, yeah, it's garbage. It's not very good. So my new plan, I hacked off the front edge of this. I was going to try to do it all in one piece, but the frame actually curves in there. I thought I could just take the C-clamp and pull it in, but it doesn't line up very good because my angle's all wonky. So I'm going to take this piece, weld it in here. I'll pull that corner in, and then hopefully I can just fill that little bit of a gap in. All right, I don't know when you died, but you died. So I got this side all in. This was more screwing around than honestly it was really worth, but it looks okay. My welds aren't the best, but like I said over and over again, we're not going for Barrett-Jackson quality. We're going for, yeah, looks all right with the box on. So luckily I was able to finagle this to fit in here. So when I weld it, it should weld in. I should be able to just pull it in with my C-clamp, which is all the way over there. So that's what I'm going to do. Try to get this all done tonight, at least. Get this all welded in. And I ran out of flapper discs, so tomorrow I'm going to have to go on a flap run. In. So that does it for boxing the frame. That's all the farther I'm going to go. This side, down here in the corner, didn't weld very good. I had a Gaposaurus that I think Godzilla would have ran away from. But I got her filled in, no problem. So that's all the farther we're going to box the frame in. That's it. Right to there. Done with that. Tomorrow I have a half day at work, so I should be able to start pounding on this early afternoon. Stop and get some flappers. Clean up my welds a little bit here. And then we can throw this cross member in. And then I think we'll pull the axle out, put the vent tube in, paint it, and then start playing with this hole. I don't know exactly how I want to do this yet. I got a couple ideas, but I'm not 100% sure yet. We'll figure that out when we just start cutting. So that's it. I'm done for the night. See you tomorrow. All right, new day again. I picked up some flapper discs after work. I already got a little bit of a head start. I just kind of cleaned up my welds a little bit with the grinder. Cut that tube and got that tube set in. It's not welded, so that's what I'm going to do right now. Get that tube welded in and then get this axle pulled out. axle's out. I just spent the last probably half hour listening to my air compressor and grinding these welds out that were on the inside. So now I'm gonna weld them up. I'm also gonna make some little brackets to go in between these, just so the I don't know, shock mount brackets, whatever, can't crap out on me. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Okay, so I did some off-camera work just to hurry things along because I'm getting really sick of welding and grinding. But I got these all welded up nice. I welded a piece on the back side of both of these just to stiffen these up a little bit. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for, or at least I've been waiting for, is putting this stupid vent tube in. Now, this is going to get, I would say, kind of sketch. I don't know. I'm going to weld this vent tube in, not weld it, drill it, and tap it in right here where I've kind of already marked. My original plan was to take a plug, which this is my fill, and put my air chuck in here with an adapter so that I'm putting air into here so that when I drill this out, the chips and stuff come out. I know what you're thinking. I should just open the cover, replace the fluid, blah, 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 clean it all out, make sure it's clean. But I don't care about this differential. Eventually, at one point, I'm going to put a limited slip in here. But at this point, not at this moment, I've already snowballed this enough. I just want to get this thing running and driving. I can put a differential in this at any point. So what my plan is going to be now is I'm going to take my air blower dealer bob. I've turned my regulator down to like less than 5 psi. I don't know. If you put too much pressure in here, you can blow your seals out, which it's possible I already did it with what I've already done. Anyway, so I found this 5/8 plug. I drilled a little hole in it. As I drill this, I'm going to put a little pressure in there to hopefully blow any chips out that would potentially go inside. Once I get it drilled out, I got my tap here. I got a little bit of that wheel bearing grease. I'm going to lube that thing up, and hopefully all the chips that come off of there stick to it. That's my plan. We'll see how this goes. All right. Tap time. This is a 3/8 24. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't even know if this is the right tap. Okay, we're through. Now, hopefully our thing fits, because I honestly am not sure what thread that is. Please fit. Way too big. I guess we'll be doing this again. So it looks like it would be a 7/16 20, which would be weird, but we're gonna give her a shot. Alright, still doesn't fit. Oh wait. It's really close. So we'll see a 1/2 inch. This is like a 1/2 inch, I think. See if I have a bigger tap. I do have one actually. Alright, we're up to a 1/2 Somehow, some way I have a tap and a drill bit for it. So here we go. If this doesn't work, we're going to be SOL. And I'll be somehow trying to plug this. No chance of this rear end surviving. I'll try to fish something in there to get the chips out, but there's going to be stuff in there for sure. In fact, I can see one piece right there. Alright, tap again for the 3rd time. Alright, this doesn't fit. We are SOL. Like a glove. Alright. Good. Now I'm going to try to find something to fish out the stuff that fell inside there. I got a magnet. I'll stick in there and just try to fish around a little bit. Got this in. I was able to pull stuff out of inside that tube. So if you care about your axle and you want it to run, or to last I should say, don't do what I did. Or if you do what I did, just don't drill and tap the hole 3 times. Figure out what size you actually need the first time and do it. Somehow I have no idea how I had all those fine thread taps, but I did, which is good. So now I'm going to spritz some paint on these brackets, and then while that's drying, I'm going to move over here. I'm going to finish welding these 2 tubes in. I got to weld the bottom, and then I'm going to clean this all up with the grinder. I'm probably actually going to take a little bit of a radius out of here some more, so that my coilover, it's pretty close in here, so I'm going to try to take a little more out anyways. So hopefully we can get to a point tonight where maybe I can spritz some paint all in here too. I do still plan on adding like little gussets on there. I should probably do that, but I don't know if I'm going to do that tonight. I am honestly extremely sick of welding and grinding, and my sinuses are just, every night after I go in I hack up like a whole bunch of black stuff. I should really be wearing a mask or something, but I'm not. So alright, paint, weld, grind, same stuff, different day. I finished welding up these tubes. I added a little piece on here like I did with the other purchase, and then I spritzed a little paint on it because, well, everything looks better in paint, even really crappy welds. So now, because I really don't feel like cutting and grinding anymore, I just kind of burnt out with that for now. Tomorrow I'm going to work on figuring out how I'm going to make that hole bigger. But for now, I'm going to work on these coilovers. So if you recall, when I did the front suspension, those coilovers have a spherical bearing in them, just like this. So this bearing goes inside here while you take this rubber out, but you put this bearing in here, and instead of a bushing, it's actually a bearing. So I bought some of these because I don't actually know why I bought them, but I bought them. So I'm going to work on putting them in. So every, I guess, QA1 shock comes ready to put spherical bearings in them. So first thing you want to do is take the sleeve out that was in here. I already did that, pulled that out. Second thing is get yourself a good knife with a brand new blade, and you should be able to cut this out. Oh wow. And I mean good blade. This is just spinning. Try not to cut your hands off. Oh man. Okay. So now this should come out. Ouch! I got a blister and I just pinched it. Okay, that pops out. So now inside here there is grooves for C-clips. So these should just go in here, but when I tried to put these in on when I did the front, they didn't fit, just like these. So I had to take my Dremel and open this up a little bit. Took this and just okay, there that is. Oh, too much. Now, take yourself a snap ring, pliers. I guess this would be a snap ring, not a C-clip. My good one doesn't fit in the holes, so I gotta use my crappy one that I cut the pegs down, or whatever these are called. Goes in there. Okay, other side. Probably should have verified a 1/2-inch bolt would fit through here before I put this all together, and now I destroyed that one. Beautiful. Now, okay. Make sure they're seated in the grooves. Like so. That's it. But when you use these spherical bearings, they are not as wide as the sleeve. So you have to use like a 1/2-inch 125,000 shim on each side. So I got some of those too. To the other side, I guess. I have a normal screwdriver around here. All right, that's it. Together. These will allow the shock for any sort of misalignment. And that's kind of why I wanted them, because I think if my axle, when I put the brackets on for the coilovers, honestly, I think I should have probably put one ear this way and one ear this way. So that way if the axle moves up and down, it can twist a little. But these will allow for any sort of misalignment. So if the axle moves out, it'll allow for that to swing a little. That's it. I'll put the other one together, and I don't know, might be the end of the night for me. I really don't feel like doing anything else. New day again. Looking at this hole. So I've been kind of just eyeballing this and figuring out what's the best way to do this. I need to open this up this way for sure. But I don't want to open just this one side. I could just easily take a cutoff wheel and cut this out and be done with it, but I don't want to make it unsymmetrical or whatever. So I think what my plan is, I thought I want to try to keep this edge because it adds a little bit of rigidity. So originally I was thinking about either just cutting the top out and making it go wider at the top, because the drive shaft will actually be up here, will never probably be down here. I've went kind of, I don't know, I've thrown around a bunch of different thoughts. Originally my other thought was to cut this out, just cut the top, leave the bottom, put a ring in here, and then figure out the bottom. But I've kind of gone away from all that, I think. So I think what my plan is, I had this tube. This was a 5.5 inch tube, 1/4 inch wall, pretty heavy. I cut it in half and then I smashed it flatter, I should say. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this out completely. Choom, choom, right where these lines are. This is about a 1 inch edge here. Then I think I'm going to cut this ring out of this piece that I cut out. And I want to move this lip to here. So then once I do that, it'll give me, you know, I'll still have, I don't know, 1/2 inch gap between the drive shaft and this edge. But then once I get this welded in over here, I can kind of figure out where this is going to go. This can't sit above the box sides, or not box sides, box mounts. So this does have to sit down below that. So I think once I get, I think right there would be okay. So I think once I get this all cut out, I'll cut this ring out. Hopefully I can bend these out so they're longer, because obviously if I cut this off right at this flat spot, it's not going to reach to here. But so I'm going to cut this piece out. I'm going to cut this ring out. Hopefully I can cut it here and then bend this straight so I get a lot of length, and I'll run it down, and then I'll put a tube on the bottom, tube on the top, and weld this piece back in here. That's my plan at this moment. We'll see what happens once I death wheel this out. Hopefully once I death wheel this out, this doesn't move. I got jacks stand there and there holding the back up, so I don't know if this frame's going to want to twist in. I hope not. I really should take this piece of 3/4 pipe that's just laying here on the floor and at least just tack it in here so that it holds this apart. But I'm just going to measure it right now, and if it moves, it moves, and then I'll figure it out later. Sounds like a plan? Good. Sounds like a plan. Glad we're all on board. thought the camera was running, but I guess it wasn't. So that's what we came up with. Like I said, I got this 5.5 inch piece of tubing I smashed flat, which didn't smash quite flat. This is a little high here. And the piece that I wanted to put back in here didn't really work. So I ended up just taking some 1/2 inch, just cutting like some 1/2 inch pieces to weld on here. Which, thinking about it now, I think I should have left these long, and then I could have ran them all the way down inside here, which would have made this stronger. But it's going to be just as strong as it was originally, so should be all right. So I'm going to get this all burned in, and then we'll probably start cutting holes for the exhaust, get that all welded in, and this whole shebang should be done. Alright, got this all welded up beautifully, except for the welds underneath. You don't want to see those welds, and if anybody's looking at them, you're being too nosy. Maybe one day if we get this thing up on a lift or something, I can get under there and grind them out, but as of right now, good enough. I drilled some holes, or some circles here, I guess, where my exhaust is going to run through. So, I'm about to torch these out. Torch them out. I got to cut some short pieces of 4-inch tube, and then I'll weld them in, and this will be finished. All right, got my pieces cut. I'm gonna stick these in here. Oh wow, these are a little bit smaller than the other ones. I'm gonna leave them hang out probably about a 1/2 inch. And then it should be it. Weld them in tight. T-I-T tight. I think.
Measure at the top. Yeah.
Close enough?
Yep.
Close enough's good enough.
Remember it is.
Does it look okay? I mean,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna burn it in completely, so.
And where your exhaust is going through, it's not like a suspension part.
Yeah, I know. I just don't want them to run the pipe down and then have to try to can't get the pipe through. Once you start welding upside down or something with this welder, it just does not want to weld decent. I don't know what it is. All right. Oh, isn't that good enough? This side's definitely in a little farther than this side. Nothing the grinder wouldn't take care of, but honestly, I don't really care. It's just a hole for exhaust to go through. Shut this thing off. It's smoking like a chimney over here too. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Custom. Well, I'm going to end this right here. So, I actually just came back out from eating dinner. But we got a cross member done. That was probably the big ticket item I wanted to get done. I'm not a huge fan of the hoop, but it is what it is. We need the clearance, so whatever. Got our frame finished up, boxed in, cross members welded in. Got these tabs. I added a little extra on here, and actually I clearanced this a little bit. I do still want to come back and probably put, well, the magnet's stuck. I would like to maybe put like a gusset here. I think I'm just going to take another piece of 2-inch tube and gusset it like so. Just because this is so high up on the frame to clear our link bars. I feel like there should be at least a little something in there to make that a little stronger, gusseted. I was going to use some 1-inch tubing, but honestly I think that's going to look stupid. So, also got our vent tube put in, finally. Don't do it how I did it. How I did it was stupid. And if you're going to put one in, make sure you know what size thread you need. That way you don't have to drill and tap it 6 times. So if you buy one of these 5/16 vent tube things from, I don't even know where I got it from, AutoZone maybe? It is a 1/2-inch 20 tap. So, help you out there. Got these brackets all welded up, gusseted a little bit. They look good. Can't wait to put those back in. We also got our spherical bearings put in our coilovers. So, next video, honestly, I don't know what we're going to do. I did get my radiator in today, so that's here. But I do not want to put that in when we put the motor mounts in because I don't want to accidentally smash it somehow. So, yeah. This next video, I'm not sure. I'll probably throw this axle back in this week sometime. And I should say next week, technically. Sometime. And I'm not sure what the next one's going to be. There's plenty of things to do, but kind of, I don't want to say weather dependent. In order to put the motor mounts in, I got to wheel this outside. And I would prefer to do that when it's a little nicer out. So I'll have to look at the weather and see what the weather's like. Other than that, we got fuel line, we got brakes. Brakes is the big one. Maybe we'll start on brakes this week. That's the last thing I want to do. I did buy a nice new brake tool that I saw online, but I haven't even tried using it yet. I have no idea how it works or how to use it, so that'll be a learning curve right from the get-go. So that's what it is. Thanks for watching. Stick around, watch my other videos, but I'll catch you on the next one.